Welcome back to Cos 3D, and today we are going to, in honor of the new Mandalorian Grogu movie coming out this summer, we're going to build Embo. Yes, it is a huge project. As you can see here, we've got 9 parts to this helmet that he wears and several parts as well to the face mask itself. But I am super excited to do this, not only because we're going to be building a really cool Star Wars character, but it gives me an opportunity to test out a couple products that I have not had the opportunity to use yet. I want to be testing out this UV clay. It's for filling gaps, and I'm really excited to try it on the Embo helmet to see how that works. Because if you haven't watched my previous gap filling videos, which I will link up in the top here, it should be very helpful using the UV clay to be able to fill some of these larger gaps that we're going to have when we put this helmet together. Also, I thought Gaahleri sent me an airbrush here a while back, the Mobius 3, and I really wanted to give this a shot, no pun intended, and see what I could do with it. And I thought Embo's head is going to be one of those projects that an airbrush is really going to come in handy with. I'm really excited to get this started, and why waste time? Let's get to sanding. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Make sure that you hit that like button down below, subscribe, leave a comment, because it's those things that help support this channel for free and let us do more content for you. So after a quick sanding and several coats of filler primer, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I can still see some print lines. I'm okay with that because of the texture that his skin naturally has. So I am going to maybe hit it with 1 or 2 more coats of filler primer, and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to do a ton of sanding on this because I think once we start painting it, it's going to be easy to camouflage any flaws in the print that there might be. So I've got everything primed up, and I'm about ready to lay down some blue. Now this is a very dark indigo blue. I'm doing this as a base coat because it appears to me, at least from what I can tell, Embo's color tone has a touch of aquamarine in it. So before I start putting my greens on here, I want to get a blue base coat down. If I'm wrong and I have to put a little bit more green paint on it, it's fine. We can cover up the blue, but I want to give a little bit of a depth to this. So I'm going to haphazardly spray this indigo blue on here, and we'll see what happens. So I put my coat of grime down and dulled this back just a hair. Now I'm switching over. I used my old airbrush for that. So Gaahleri was kind enough to send me an airbrush to try. We're gonna see how this new airbrush stacks up, especially against the one that I was using to put down the previous coat, which was it was an absolute cheap airbrush. Oh man, this thing sprays. The action on it is so good. Just to clarify, I know nothing about using an airbrush, really. So what I'm doing is just following some lines here. And I'm hoping to create a nice contrast here is all. So those of you that do airbrushing, don't judge me because I'm really not that good with an airbrush. But the lines in that, they're so crisp. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what kind of airbrush you guys use, what you prefer, because I'm gonna put a link to this one down in the description. I really like this thing. So he's got a little more depth to him now, and I'm not saying I'm done with it yet. As far as the coloring, I might lighten it up just a hair. I was gonna wait and do a review video on this Gaahleri airbrush, the Mobius 03, and I'm gonna take a break on this build for just a second. Oh my gosh, Now, I've been using the same crappy airbrush that I got years ago. It was like $30, $35 at the time. I don't even know what brand it is anymore. The guys over at Gaahleri, my gosh, this thing is, but comparatively speaking, there is no comparison. This thing has ridiculous amounts of control. It's wonderful. It sprays perfectly. And wow, I am thrilled with this airbrush. I mean, shoot. Let's get rid of that one. We don't want that one anymore at all. This is the new one. This is the one. Huge thanks to Gaahleri. Unbelievable airbrush. So, back to the video. So I finally got it wrestled together, but I ended up with several gaps that I didn't anticipate, and I almost guarantee it's because of the warpage that might have occurred during printing. Could have warped on the bed, off the bed with thermal cooling, who knows. But that's okay, we got it together, but there are several very large gaps, like the one right here, that we have to now fix. So the first thing I'm going to do is tape up the back side of the gaps. Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to epoxy each of these large gaps to fill it in with epoxy so that hopefully that helps give it some rigidity and holds the parts together much better. And on these larger seams, we're going to tape on either side of them, and then we're going to mix up some epoxy and drop it down into those cracks, taking as much care as possible to not get it all over the place so that we have a mess to clean up later. Now let's mix up some epoxy, because it looks like the only ones I have are these particular lines here. We're going to mix up a fair amount of epoxy so I have plenty to go and do the entire top with. So the goal is to just fill in those cracks. All right, so we got our epoxy ready, and we're going to come into these cracks that I have taped off. Actually, the reason I put the latex glove on is so that we can get it worked good and down inside those gaps. I got one side done. Now, unfortunately, that epoxy is not going to seep all the way through it in most cases. Sometimes it will. We want to just keep working that into those joints and get it in there as deep as possible so it gets more surface area coverage. Now, before our epoxy dries, we want to get in here and remove our masking so that we don't have to fight with that later. And the masking tape should keep everything pretty well contained. Now, you're going to have a little bit of blowout here and there, but nothing too major, hopefully. So we're going to let this epoxy cure and then come back and fill in some of the seam lines that didn't get epoxied, and then we'll get to the next step of sanding this bad boy. While we're waiting on our epoxy to cure, we're going to go in and get these smaller seam lines taken care of, and we're just going to plastic weld them with the soldering iron here. what an incredible build this turned out to be. This thing is huge. I mean, I expected it to be large, and it did not disappoint. The mask itself is actually wearable. I am waiting on magnets to arrive in order to be able to attach them, because they do break apart in the back, the front, and the back section of the dome. So you would, in theory, be able to put these on your head magnetized, and then there is a magnet in the top of the dome here that adhered to the interior of this, but it does work. The problem is it is just so large. So it does click in there with a very satisfying click. I don't know how much I would trust it yet. I need to epoxy those larger magnets in there, but it is finished. It has been a blast building this thing, and I'm so glad that I did. Just have to find a place for it now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I was able to use multiple techniques, got to use the airbrush that I got from Gaahleri. That airbrush, I just can't talk highly enough about it compared to the crap one that I've been using this whole time. It worked great. So I am very happy that they sent that to me, and I really look forward to using it again. Like I was saying, there are several techniques that I had to use in order to put the hat together. And I did get to use my UV clay. I'm going to do a video on this separately. It's from Phrozen. And I really haven't dived into how I'm going to utilize this in my builds all the time, but I really do see a future for this stuff to fill in some large gaps and things like that. It really came in handy on this build. But that's it, guys. Make sure that you hit the like button for me. Leave a comment in the comments section, especially if you plan on building one of these on your own. I will give you some advice. It's going to take some time. It did take a little bit to put this all together, and I think I've had this on my bench now for 2 weeks working on and off on it, but totally worth it. Glad I did it, and now I can find a place for this in my collection, I hope, and display it proudly. So thanks again for joining me, and we will see you in the next video.